Eldership. Just like how many mothers just know the nature of children? Mothers sit down with daddy after and say, see that child, we need to work on him, it's because that child XYZ. Eldership part of it should be to know the people that are around the bishop and their attitudes and competences, bringing adjustments and upgrades to functionaries towards excellence. Not always you could hear your father, but something, you see the reason, let me get back to breast again. Breast makes children close to mommy. That's one of the reasons why women, children love their mother so much, because they got breasts. Breasts have a strange magnetic power to it. You understand what I'm saying? It pulls both men and children. You understand? It's only when a child gets older that he recognizes, wait, no. This dad who get me them breasts, we? And after a while, when they come off the breast and they realize it's dad who feed me. It takes them a while to recognize that. And when they start recognizing that, that's where another scripture is kicking. There's a generation that cursed their father and doth not bless their mother. Because when we can't, if you reach the point where you curse your father, your mother give it her father, right? Therefore, you have to be very cautious. Number two, second thing that an elder has to have, leaders must have, wives must have, is wisdom. Elders must seek to become like the men of Issachar who understood time and judgment. Now, remember I was sharing six things that war against the family. And those six things that Jesus said the Spirit of the Lord was upon him for. He said the Spirit of the Lord was upon me because he had anointed me to attack your wealth problem, your lack. The number one thing that causes family disorder is poverty, not horn. Horn is number 2 or 3. It's the stress that comes about because of poverty. You understand what I'm saying? When there's stress that comes about because of poverty, it creates war. You understand what I'm saying? If you got millions and your wife want to buy a Louis Vuitton, that ain't nothing. But when you broke, and you dream about buying a car for the first time and you missing $30,000 in the bank because your wife buy a Louis Vuitton, you start thinking about ways to kill her and collect the insurance. That's all? Huh? No, you don't think like that. You're not Christians, right? But the sixth thing that we dealt with, when I went through those 6 things, he said to declare the acceptable time of the Lord. And one of the big problems you have in a marriage is the changing of the seasons of a marriage. A marriage goes through different seasons. The meeting, the greeting, the tango, the courtship. I don't like him, but and the turn on, the war. A woman wants a man she can't totally control. A woman wants a man who will just be beyond what she thinks she could have. If she thinks she could have you, she don't want you. And there's a tango. If you want to tango dance, that's it. That's it. So that's why, the first thing a woman wants is a man of power. Second thing is a man of fame. Third thing, a man of wealth. Fourth thing, a man who have a different accent, come from a different country, different from everybody. Everybody black, you want him, and you're red, he's the boss. Everybody red and he black, the one she. Anything that differentiates her from the tribe, from the group. A man with muscles. You might consider that down the road. Good looking, personality. Does he have a sense of humor? Are you here with me? And there's a reason why I'm telling all the men these things. I want you men to marry the women in this church. Are you hearing me, Brother Kerry? All right. After I teach all this teaching, I want you to marry the women right here. Understand? Because they understand how to walk. After I put all this royal jelly inside of you all, there's a millionaire church I want to raise up. I am raising up. You understand? When people think like a certain sort. You understand what I'm saying? You could walk in the Louis Vuitton place and you say, man, I could buy 10 of this and then walk out. Because you could do it. You don't have to do it. You understand what I'm saying? Most of the people who can't do it is the ones who want to do it. And they put it on a credit card. And for the next 10 years, they're paying for the Louis Vuitton and they have nothing in it. Are you hearing me? Y'all hearing me? All right. So I love that. You have to understand that time. Then marriage comes. Then children come. Then every different thing changes. All the time she hanging with you now, she want to hang with child. You understand what I'm saying? Job, when she have one pass, when she making 10,000, and you still making 5, and she start thinking I could do bad on my own. You understand what I'm saying? You gotta understand how to deal with all them seasons and times surrounding the thing. Are you hearing me, folks? How to keep making more money than your woman. I don't care what they tell you about. I don't mind make more money, making more money. That's a code for about to get rid of you soon. You just don't know. You're so stupid. You understand what I'm saying? Are you hearing me? But the reason why God gave women the strength of sex and also the strength of money is that they need money more than sex. He turned to Adam and he said, because you have hearkened to the voice of your wife, cursed shall the earth be for thy sake, thorns and thistles shall it bring forth. In other words, he says, in your sweat you shall eat bread. In other words, the finances what he gave Adam. And God understood that while men took the rib out of him, and a man would have a greater, well, so they tell us, and me ain't too sure that is so, but a man would have a greater sexual passion than woman, because he hid the woman's sexual realities, that you can't see it so easily. The man, man came with money, woman came with honey. Exchange took place. When she got money and she got honey, what she need you for? So they start talking, any argument of power, they started teaching in schools that you couldn't say it was wrong if a woman had enough money and she just needed a man to have the biological act so that she could produce a child, but she didn't want him to live in the same house with her, that you couldn't say that was wrong. They started changing the curriculum. And Mr. Panting, I think, was the Minister of Education, I think back then, around 1986. And that's why a man has got to understand his power is in his wealth. You know what I'm saying? When you could lift a woman to a particular lifestyle that she can't live on her own and without you, it is not that it's impossible for her to walk away. She's less likely to walk away. Are you hearing me? Their hearts must be open to know what the bishop and the church must do, confirming divine purposes and hindering and sensing satanic attacks. To do this, they must have a living relationship with God. Elders that do not hear from God are like warning instruments that do not work. And the churches without them are flying blind. Just like the reason why God gave you a wife is that, again, remember I said women are wiser than men. Women are not physically stronger. It wasn't for their strength they were given to us. It was for their concept, their brain, their spirit capacity, their ability to perceive, sense, to recognize things that we don't recognize. Are you hearing me? Therefore, it's a stupid man that doesn't listen to his wife. You see, if you're a wise man, you check your own brain. You check your wife's brain. You check your pastor's brain. You check the Bible. You pray about it. And the multitude of counsel, there's wisdom. But if you're going on your own, and you keep failing over and over, you understand why. Are you with me? Same thing in a local church. The eldership, the leadership was given there to be able to give concepts, to give wisdom. Number 3, finances. The Bible said, never promote a covetous person. That is one who refuses to tithe. That's how that is interpreted in the New Testament, where it says covetous. No matter how gifted, he who robs God will rob you eventually. Let me tell you something. One of the things, when the Bible talks about a virtuous woman, does it talk about her sexual life? Go check Proverbs chapter 31, verse 10 to 31. Those 22 verses. How many times they talk about the sex life of the virtuous woman? 0. How much time they talk about her money? About 15 times. I guess enough figure. The point is, you know why? Because money motivates women. Are you understanding me? And if a woman, the only basis upon which she loves you is money, then your relationship ain't too long. It ain't going to last too long. Because there's always somebody with more money than you. That's all? Or who ain't have what you have. Now, there must be money at a certain level. But the whole idea about the virtuous woman is that also she's a money-making machine. The Bible says that she works with her hands, she does business, and she does investment by buying land. Amen? There must be people who will be able to relate. You see, we were called to relate to the earth, and sometimes the problem with our spirituality, what I say in the New Testament, is that we get involved in a conversation that was thousands of years old. So when you start reading the New Testament, God didn't start there. He started off 5 covenants down the road. Because the Bible is made up of 6 major covenants, not 2. So there's a conversation that starts off. So you know through Abraham, you know what God said to Adam. You know what God said to Adam the second time. You know what God said to Noah. You know what God said to Abraham. You understand what I'm saying? So by the time when When, as I said, when the Gentiles hear the story of Lazarus and the rich man, the interpretation of that for Gentiles is that because the man was rich, he went to hell. That's all? And because he was poor, he went to heaven. But for the Jewish mind, they could never interpret it like that. Because the fellow who was standing next to Lazarus was a billionaire. It was Abraham. So they know he didn't go there because of poverty. Because Abraham was rich. And the whole place named after him. Because they don't see it. So when they said, Jesus said, blessed is the poor, there shall be the kingdom of heaven, they didn't see it as, okay, if I'm broke, that means I'm okay. No, they were saying, all of us are supposed to be rich, and therefore those who had entered into the promise and the manifestation, they were now going to enter into it by the wisdom that Christ was bringing. That was important. In fact, as I tell you, when you read the story, when Jesus dealt with the rich young ruler, the apostles turned to each other and says, when Jesus said, how hard did them that have riches enter into the kingdom? So we talk about people outside the kingdom, not yet born again. They watch each other and says, who then can be saved? The Bible said they were amazed beyond measure. So if there were 12 poor men, I always said they should have been happy, giving each other high fives. But different mindset. An elder who borrows from church members for survival is not yet ready and will bring shame on the ministry. If you have a wife who borrows money from all over the place from people, you have a big problem. Are you hearing me, folks? Because you don't know what you're doing to pay back. Are you hearing me, folks? I've had a pastor responsible for years ago. Once he said, man, I put 2 months mortgage in the wife account and tell her, listen, we're going to take the mortgage out of your account. So when I'm looking for the money gone. Can't find the money. Where the money, she don't know. I mean, you don't know where 2 months mortgage gone. I said, of course, that's a piece of madness. You spending so much, you don't know where 2 months mortgage gone. I mean, you know, that's a little. It is difficult to remain friends with those who steal from you, misappropriating your resources and setting you backward for their advancement. Amen? Listen to me, there's a little quote I have. I say, you can borrow from me or be my friend, but you can't be both at the same time. When they pay me back, we'll be real good buddies. But in between that, there will always be some tension between us. That's all?